Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Living Astrology with Janet. It's time to grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back and relax while we chat about what is happening up in the stars above for the weekend. Hallelujah. It's Friday. I've been looking forward to this day. Just seems like it's been a week. I'm telling you, it's been a week. And the weekend also is going to be quite the weekend. It's Easter weekend, right? And there's a whole lot of mythology and lore that goes along with this particular weekend in the year, where it is the fertile new beginnings, right? The time of spring, everything springing forth. The time for us to sow seeds and get ready for the bounty that comes in the summer. And Easter, of course, being a religious holiday in terms of the Christian religion, but its ancient roots are more along the lines of the pagan religions or the natural earth religions, where they saw this time as Ostara, and Ostara, a time of fertility and a time for planting the seeds for what will come later. So, lest you think this is only about Christianity, it is not. It is much more ancient than that. Or lest you think it is a religious holiday, it is much older, and Christianity kind of stamped over what was some of the older nature religions, making it about the resurrection of Christ. And yet, the theme of resurrection and renewal and rebirth is ubiquitous, right? Through all of the different religions, through all out of time, it has always represented this time of new beginnings. And in that, it feels refreshing, doesn't it? Just a little bit more like, wow, we are really past winter, perhaps. The days are getting longer. I'm noticing the sun moving every night as it starts to set, where pretty soon it's going to set right in my eye when I sit and watch TV. And I'll have to pull the shades down on a particular window in order to be able to see anything. So it's like this time we all kind of look forward to this energy. And of course, this weekend we are being treated to a whole lot of astrological type things. And we're going to, I'm going to try to break them down and let you know, how to handle that, what might be going on for us over the next couple of weeks. And let's say good morning to people who were showing up first thing here. Hello, Diana from New Orleans, I bet. And Terry, good morning to you. We're going to call Terry Mary Jimmy Terry today because in a conversation I was having with Asa earlier this morning, I wrote his name out as Mary, Merry, or my phone did. I didn't hit the wrong key because M and T aren't anywhere near one another. And then she was writing back to me, wanting me to tell him something, and it came out, "Tell Jimmy this." And then she crosses that out and puts him. And then we just decided to rename Terry to Mary Jimmy Terry. So thanks for coming and joining us this morning. Good morning, Christine. It's good to have you with us. And Debbie Tibbetts Two Meal, she says happy Friday and happy Easter as well. Pam Zaruba, good to have you with us. Jolie says we got snow this morning and more coming tomorrow. And I do believe you're in the Denver area or Boulder, somewhere in Colorado. And it's not surprising because now it's been beautiful here, bright, sunny, very windy off and on throughout the last few days, and chilly, right? This is not like warm, sit outside in the sun kind of energy. This has, been pretty chilly. So I'm not surprised that there is snow in Denver or in Colorado. Good morning, Peggy Ann. It's good to have you with us. Good morning to Irene and Joan Durchie. Great to have you with us. And Jolie says she's in Aspen. So a little bit higher, maybe. I don't know, but enjoy the snow because it's probably going to be gone pretty soon, right? All right. So this morning, we're going to start out with what is the big news of the day, and that is Mars moving out of Cancer and into the sign of Leo. So Mars steps into Leo with a roar, but not to conquer, to create, right? It's a creative energy, and it's bold and it's heart-led fire asking you to act like your life is art. And that is the case, right? Mars catalyzes action, and he's catalyzing action now in the sign of the heart, right? Of creative self expression, of generally creativity in the main. And Mars in Leo is fierce, it's passionate, and it's unafraid to take up space. And this is warrior energy, dressed in velvet, if you will, right? The velvet glove of charm, of grace, and yet there's this very expressive, confident energy that goes along with that. And it's an energy that is ready to lead from the heart. And when Mars enters Leo, he sheds the cautious Cancerian, watery energies, the emotionally reactive energies of Cancer, and he steps into a sign that says, I'm here, watch me shine, right? Watch me shine. So this transit for all of us, right? All of us are going to experience Mars moving through Leo. You only need to look at your chart to see what house Leo sits on to know what area of your life is being lit up. It is being, asked to shine. And this transit ignites creative drive. You feel called maybe to enter into or bring something big into, big and bold, let's say, into the world. This is going hand in hand with Aries energies that are very prominent now, right? And Aries is fire, Leo is fire. So we have fire and fire energy that is dominating the landscape. It's dramatic action. Leo, of course, as we know, is our drama sign, right? The sign of the drama queen or the drama king. And we're not just doing things, we're doing them with flair, with panache, with purpose, and maybe with just a touch of theatrical rebellion, right? Doing it our way, not necessarily the way everybody thinks that we should do it, that kind of thing. There's also pride and authenticity during this time. We crave recognition, but only when it's for being our true, fully embodied selves, our true selves, right? That's what we want to have people see in us right now, whether that's through our creativity, whether that's just through our presence, right? We want to be seen and valued for being our full, embodied selves. And it's protective fire. Mars in Leo fiercely defends what it loves. And it's the energy of the lion that's protecting its pride, right? Lion, pride as in its group, its herd, because a lion herd is actually called a pride. So it's protecting the pride or the family or the group, the tribe, the community. And that's, one of those really cool things about Leo energy. And it's also very generous and magnanimous energy. It's heart led. And, the drama often with Leo comes in when it's not able to lead by its heart, from its heart, right? It is having to do things in a way that it doesn't want to do them. It's obligated to something that it's not completely sold on. And that is where the drama for Leo can often come from. So, how is this going to impact us in the coming weeks? Because Mars is going to be in Leo until June 17th, a longer period of time. Usually, Mars is about 4 to 6 weeks in a sign, and that's about right here, right? He's picked up speed since his retrograde ended, and now he's able to move, more freely about the zodiac. And while he is staying in the sign of Leo, there are a few things that we may experience, generally speaking, right? And again, this can be tempered a bit by where it is in your own personal chart, right? So if Leo, let's say, is in the 10th house, this is going to be focused on your career or in your profession or your worldly self, how people see you, your reputation. If it's in, let's say, the sixth house, it's going to be about your health and well being and a lot to do with your work environment and the people that you serve and how you serve, what you serve, all of that. So the house makes it a little bit different feel. So the things that I'm going to share next are more general aspects that we might be impacted by. And the first one is confidence surges or wobbles, let's call it. You may feel more courageous and you want to feel more visible, be seen. And maybe you're willing to take a leap, right? Jumping into something. But if you're out of alignment, this can also stir insecurity or drama. I was saying, right? The drama part comes from being inauthentic in that Leo energy and, jumping into things that, are maybe things other people wanted you to do, but not necessarily the things that you wanted to do. So the invitation for us during these next several weeks is going to be about acting from the heart, not your ego, right? Let the ego do what the ego does, right? Just don't have to listen to it. Listen to your heart. Come back to center. And the second way that we could be impacted this time is about passion projects that suddenly have the green light, right? Something that you loved in the past, or maybe that you've always wanted to take action on, but for whatever reason, you weren't able to. So, with Mars in Leo now, this is ideal energy for launching creative ideas and stepping into leadership roles, right? Bringing your proud self forward. And finally, putting your name on something that maybe you've poured your soul into, but have been afraid to show to other people, right? Bringing it out. Go for it. This is go for it energy. The universe favors bold, heart led moves right now with Mars in the sign of Leo, and as well the planets that are in Aries playing into this as well. There is the potential for ego clashes when we get to Leo energy because Mars in Leo wants to be seen. And if others aren't playing fair or they're not acknowledging your light, sparks could fly, right? Things can happen. So you want to choose authentic expression over competition. You don't need to prove yourself, right? You do not need to get caught up in that ego game. Healthy pride uplifts and ego pride divides. Mm, think about that in terms of what we're seeing in the politics of the world right now, right? So healthy pride uplifts and ego pride divides. Okay, love. Let's talk about love. Leo is the sign of love. It's the sign of the heart, right? So love and romance and beauty of coming together for love is all what is part of Leo's experience, and it is also related to desire. And desire, it can be, the desire to be admired, to be loved, to be seen, right? So Mars rules that desire and Leo rules romance. So expect maybe people are more flirtatious. Maybe there's some creative chemistry going on between people, or even conflicts that arise from not feeling valued, seen, heard, or recognized. It's interesting when we take a look at this Leo energy through human design, you'll see that three or four of the gates that are embodied by Leo are on the throat center. So there's a lot to be said about the voice being seen, heard, valued, recognized with Leo energy. But the key here is going to be expressing what you want and let others do the same, right? Just because they want something different doesn't mean that they're wrong or that, they're taking something away from you, right? We can all have our wants and desires. Protect what you care about during this time. This is loyal energy. Leo energy is loyal and fiercely loving energy. It is, almost tribal in the way that it expresses itself. You may feel extra protective of your work, maybe of your people, your family, your group, your community, or your truth. So just be mindful, defend from the heart, not from the wounded pride, right? Not from the wounded center of, your Chiron, let's say. So it is something that will impact all of us over the coming weeks. And again, whatever house that's in is where you'll see that impact. Okay. All right. And let's look at Leo now through human design. So I was having an issue this morning with my presentation here. So let me see if I can share my screen and show you. And okay. So it held it this time. All right. So what you're all looking at now is a human design body graph. And what I'm showing here are the gates, that should be colored in, the gates that are associated with Leo. So if you have your human design chart, take a look at it. If any of these gates are empty, meaning white, then now you're throughout these next 6 weeks, you're going to have this energy being triggered in your chart, in your life. If they are already colored in, now you're adding Mars to whatever planet happens to be there. And so you've got more emphasis perhaps on that. And then also take a look at your human design chart to see if by chance, let's just do this one, for example, if you have the gate 63 defined, and now at some point Leo is going to be at the Mars in Leo will be at gate 4, this whole channel of doubt will become defined, right? And if that happens, then you might find yourself doubting your heart and doubting yourself and your value during that period of time. All right, so let me take that out because it's not there. So take a look at those things in your own human design chart, and then you'll get a feel for how this is going to be experienced for you, by you. Now, the human design gates of Leo represent the radiant path of the heart, or the radiant heart path. And that's because these are gates primarily that sit on the throat center, which is where it is that we express ourselves, where we bring things into being or into reality, where we are recognized for our brilliance, where we're recognized for our creative energies and our expressions. And the very first gate of Leo is the gate 56 right here on the top right corner of the throat center. And it's called the gate of expansion in quantum human design, but it is also the gate of the storyteller. This gate really brings the urge to the surface for all of us that to share our inspired experiences. When Mars moves through here, then you're driven to speak your truth. You're spreading your message, moving it to new people or new groups, and to make your life meaningful through the things that you are expressing. The theme of the Gate 56 here is about sharing the journey, letting your voice carry your passion. And this will be the first gate. This is the gate today that Mars is in. Let me confirm that because I meant to look at that and I did not. Oh, and today being April. I cannot believe I haven't used this book in April yet. Yes, today Mars is at the 56th in the fifth line. So we're sharing our brilliance with others, right? Then let's see, as we get to the 23rd of April, we have a few listeners whose birthdays that day. Debbie, J-Lo. And the 23rd will be at the gate 31. And that is the gate here, also on the throat center, that is called the gate of the leader. It is democratic leadership. That's what the 31 is all about. It's not ruling from above, but guiding from the invitation and clarity of being asked to lead or being elevated into leadership. When Mars activates this particular gate, it's time to lead with integrity and purpose, not ego. So, this is leadership that is defined in our human design. It is an energy that we share leadership, right? We share our voices. So, the theme here is about true leadership inspiring, not commanding. True leadership inspires, doesn't command. All right. And then as we get to May, we end up, let's see here, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, gate 33, also on the throat center right here. And this is called the gate of retelling. This this gate is very reflective. It's a very introverted or internally focused energy when we get to this gate. And it's also a gate of storytelling, sacred storytelling. Here, Mars kind of stirs up wisdom from the past, from your past experiences, and calls you to share your story in a way that heals and teaches. So, this particular gate, while very introverted, is really about teaching through story. And in a way, this is the historian gate in our human design, where we're recalling the past and we are crafting a new story as we move forward. This gate really holds the invitation for us to take a look at our stories and how we're telling those stories, and then choosing to retell the story in a way that's uplifting, in a way that is shared with our fellow humans, in a way that's inspiring, and not just rehashing the old tales that are dismal and full of oh woe is me or victim martyr energy. So your past has power here, but speak it with purpose, right? Yes, these things happened and it was horrible while I was going through it. But now, with wisdom, I can see how this is a story that in the end helped me to see something else more clearly. And I can share that wisdom and insight with all of you, kind of thing, right? So, retelling. Then we jump to the gate 7. I changed the color here so you would know that these are gates that are happening at different times. It's not completing a channel on the same day. And gate 7 is called the gate of collaboration. It's on the identity center. And here we might call this gate the chief of staff gate because it's the guide behind the leader, right? The guide behind the throne. Mars here asks, how can I serve the collective with my unique light? This is leadership through alignment, not control. Keep noticing this theme in our human design, right? There is no gate of authoritarianism. There is no gate of oligarchy. There is no gate of bromancy. Everything in our human design speaks to democracy or leadership by the whole. And it is something that we aspire to, right? To be collaborative, to work together to forward the things that we desire to see in our societies. This is a theme that we rise by walking together, right? We rise by walking together. I think somebody should tell our politicians all about their human design and human design in general. Now, after the time on the throat center and the identity center, we move up to the ajna with gate 4, which is called the gate of possibility. And the gate of possibility brings mental resolution, but also optimism. Mars in this particular gate fuels ideas and problem solving, but can also ignite impatience, right? We want it done now. The challenge is to act on what's possible, not just what's perfect, right? Sometimes you got to take a chance, and this is a take a chance kind of gate. And the theme here is that hope is a strategy when it's grounded in wisdom. Like I'm going to take this action because I hope it's going to work and I've grounded this idea into reality whether in the now or in the past or in the future and I'm willing to take that risk. And then at the very end of Mars's transit through the sign of Leo and the very beginning of his transit through Virgo, which won't happen until after June 17th, we get to the gate of devotion, the gate 29 on the sacral center. And this gate is about commitment and devotion. And Mars here stirs the urge to say yes. This is the gate of saying yes. But saying yes needs to be only toward that which feels truly aligned for you. It tests your endurance, it tests your passion, and saying yes here should only ever be done when you have clarity that this is the right yes for you. And not just saying yes because everybody wants you to or because it's the default, especially like if you're a generator or someone who has emotional authority, saying yes, a manifesting generator, any type that might have this gate defined, especially if you have emotional authority, can feel very excited in the moment, especially with Mars triggering this catalyzing kind of energy to say yes to everything. but you're not designed to say yes to everything. And if you have emotional authority, you're not designed to say yes in the moment. You're not designed to say no in the moment either, right? You're designed to wait and see how I feel tomorrow about this, or how I feel later in the day about this, and waiting for clarity over time. But the gate 29 often is exuberant energy. It's also very exciting, and we want to say yes. So here we have to um, say yes with our whole body, or not at all, right? If you're just saying yes from your mind because you think you have to, then it leads to half-heartedness, and that is the shadow of this energy here, is half-heartedness. So you say yes wholly or not at all. And it doesn't mean that tomorrow you won't have that whole body. Yes, you might. So we have to be careful in our relationships, and when we're talking to people about or when we've been invited to something, let's say, and we're wanting to say yes. If you have this emotional authority, if this center is colored in on your human design, you must wait, waiting for clarity, right? And asking yourself over time, does this feel good? Does this feel right? Is this right for me? Is this what I truly want? Is this the path I want to walk down? Things like that, so that you can inspire sort of your body's reaction or response to those questions. All right. I hope all of that helps. Let me go back to StreamYard here. How's everybody doing out there this morning? Let me go back a little bit and say good morning to Paulette Peasley. It's good to see you this morning. And J-Lo, happy Friday to you. Debbie Tibbetts Two Meals says, me yesterday. Yes, yesterday was one of those days, wasn't it, Debbie? Like nothing seemed to work right. I don't know what it was yesterday. Catherine Worcester, good morning to you. Teddy says, good morning. Happy Friday. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and the share with your friends. Do all of that for me, please. Those thumbs up, those hearts, the likes, and also share then with your friends. Good morning, Sharon Kay. And it's my pleasure to be here to help everybody. Christine Buckingham, 59.1 mind, 59.3 body. Uranus, Leo defined. Uranus, Leo. You have Uranus and Leo defined. Sacral open, solar plexus from 59, a red, and a black line halfway to 6. So it sounds like the 59 and the 6 come together. Is that right, Christine? And of course, 59 is on the sacral center. It's an energy of sexuality, but it is also an energy that begins the masculine side. Remember last week we talked about the gate 50 and how the gate 50 is on the feminine side of the human design. It's called the gate of nurturing, and it was part of the earth energy the previous week. Well, the 59 is on the masculine side as well as the 6. So these energies become the energies of protection, of defense for the tribe. And it's also about providing and making sure that the values of the tribe as brought down from the feminine is enacted through the masculine, right? There's the defensive, the protectiveness, etc., while the feminine is the teacher, the nurturer, the laying down of the foundation, the template of the values that we hold. And then the masculine goes out and makes sure that that is how we live. So it has a lot to do with um, the the things that we share with one another, including sexuality. Because in order, this is how Karen has always explained this gate, and it makes so much sense, is that our primary biological imperative is to reproduce. And yet, in order to reproduce in a way that is sustainable, we have to be able to have the things all taken care of to support a child. Like you can't just decide after you've had a child that, oh yeah, I'm tired of this, right? That doesn't support the tribe. It doesn't support the biological imperative of care, of nurturing. So the 59-6 is really all about how do I care for others? How do I protect? How do I defend? How do I make sure everybody has enough? And one of the enough things in that channel for you, Christine, is about love, right? This is love energy. And this 59-6 is also the energy of war. War and peace live in this channel, right? Do we go to war to, you know, get things from other countries that we can't produce ourselves? Um, so much in that channel, right? That is sometimes right now I see in our world is where the masculine has gone wrong. The divine masculine, not men, but the divine masculine has been applied incorrectly and the divine feminine has been squelched. So there's always this tension between those two parts of our human design, if you will, that we're meant to balance and harmonize so that the gate 6 in your case is about peace and not war. And that the 59 then is about love, love in protection and defense of the tribe. That was a long explanation. Sorry, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Um Teddy says, Patty says, hi, hello, Patricia. Lo 29 personality IC connects my hanging 46 and my design MC 31 purpose, design Earth. So I'm ready for this. Let me upgrade shortly after I have a Chiron return. Seems like there's a lot going on there for you, Lo. You know, the 2946 channel could also be called the channel of discovery. We sometimes call it the Discovery Channel, but it's also a gate of or a channel of luck and fortune. Synchronicity also in this particular. So people who have that channel defined are often in the right place at the right time for the right opportunity with the right people. And that's when they're following their strategy and their type and their authority. So it has a sort of lucky feel to it. And, you know, to be lucky, it means that you're all in alignment. Your body is aligned energetically with what is correct for you and not for just everything that you can think of, right? Christine, is emotional authority also called follow your gut? No. Emotional authority is really about tuning in to the emotions. How do I feel about this? Does this feel good? Does this feel right? Does this feel correct for me? It would be the spleen that is more about the gut, right? The gut and the instinctual response to something. And in the gut or the spleen, instinctual response is in the moment. It's in the now and happens spontaneously where the energy of the solar plexus needs time for clarity. And you know, generally speaking, it can be as long as it needs to take, but it's between usually 24 and 48 hours that you get clarity. But you never get 100% clarity in the emotional center. Such is the nature of emotions, right? They're these waves of energy that come and go. So the best that you can get is that you have a fairly consistent response to something before you say yes, right? Okay. Amanda J, good morning to you. Christine says that makes a lot of sense. Yay. Sounds like mama bear energy. Yes. The mama bear energy lives on the left side. The papa bear energy lives on the right. So, you know, mama bear is making sure everybody has everything they need. The values are taught. They have the rules. They can become accountable for themselves as they grow up and that, you know, these are the rules. And this is how we're going to live. And then it's the divine masculine on the 59-6 side that goes out and protects those values and defends those values and provides the resources for the tribe. So they work together. Ideally, they work together. Sometimes they don't. Lo says, casino, I hear you. Here we go. Yes, indeed. Why not, right? All right. Now let's go on to Saturday's energy. Everything we just talked about was Mars in Leo. Mars in Leo happens today. And then we get to talk about Saturday's energy, where we have really the earth meeting fire and the heart meeting vision. And that's as the sun moves into the sign of Taurus. And the sun is sinking into the soil, sinking into the earth as Mars is dancing with spirit, dancing with the spirit of passion and fire, and reminding us that creation needs both fire and form, right? So, Taurus sun starting to bring the form to the seeds that we are planting. And in a way, on Saturday, the cosmos slows us down just enough to reconnect with what really matters. And that's also while lighting a visionary fire under our creative spirit, because we still have, this very powerful Martian energy. We still have this very powerful Aries group of planets. But now with the sun moving out of Aries and into Taurus on Saturday, we are being asked to ground, right? The Aries rush of the sun is behind us. As the sun moves into Taurus, then the energy shifts from bold beginnings to stabilizing what we've started. Taurus season invites us to do this, right? To ground into what's real, what's tangible, and what's sustainable. It invites us to reconnect to our bodies, right? To the physical body, the earth, the physical planet, and what it is that nourishes us, right? Whether it's food or whether it's, uh, relationships, what our jobs, our work, whatever it is. And then it also invites us to create value through consistency, not speed. Aries was all about bold and fast and ferocious. Taurus is not. Taurus is more about the consistency. It slows things down. It becomes more plotting, more strategic, even in its ability to endure and to persist. The vibe for the day and for the month ahead becomes about exhaling and letting our roots grow deeper before the branches can reach higher, right? We have to make sure the foundation is set. And so, as the sun transits through Taurus, we have this opportunity to create more of that stability and that consistency. So, sun entering Taurus tomorrow makes it a great day to tend to your physical well being, to work with money, with resources or long-term goals, right? Taurus holds that energy as well, and maybe getting back to basics, with beauty and food and pleasure, right? The senses. It's a very sensual sign. So the sun is in Taurus now, starting tomorrow, all the way through. Let's see, it'll be May 20th when the sun moves into Gemini. So we have a month of foundation setting, of getting that base energy down. Now, there's something else interesting happening with Mars. And it starts tomorrow, but I could say it's already starting today, because as Mars in Leo moves, and as Mars moves into Leo today, he moves immediately into a trine with Neptune newly in Aries. So both pieces in fire. So we have a Mars in Leo trine, Neptune in Aries. That is exact tomorrow. And this is a gorgeous alignment of bold action and spiritual vision, right? We're blending these two energies. Mars in Leo gives you the courage, maybe to express yourself, while Neptune in Aries infuses that courage with purpose and intuition. It really does signal spiritual warriorship, right? And they bring together they bring us this inspired creative energy and maybe even visionary leadership, as we think of Mars and Leo as being the leader. And then as well, it brings actions aligned with heart and soul, right? The deeper aspects of ourselves. So there's this vibe of Mars and trying to Neptune about when heart and spirit work together, courage becomes clarity, the vision to see what happens next or what next steps to take. So It'll be a great day. While we also have the grounding energy of the sun in Taurus, it'll also be a great day for taking action on creative ideas that have been calling to you, right? Those things that have been pulling at you. That maybe with all of the inner planets, Mercury and Venus in retrograde, just couldn't quite coalesce yet. But now those two are direct. And now with this Mars trine Neptune, that spirituality, that creative energy, as a guide for taking those next steps. And it is also a day for letting intuition guide your ambition and leading with imagination, not with force. Mars can sometimes be very forceful, but Neptune here kind of, even though Neptune is in Aries, tempering Mars a bit to make sure that the energy is very creative and has a purpose, but isn't going with force, right? It's allowing in some way that energy to be expressed easily, effortlessly. And the takeaway, for all of you here is about Saturday's energy, tomorrow's energy, blending fire and earth, dreams and form. So let your vision move through your body and let your action be guided by your prayers and dreams, right? Those things that you want to manifest. All right. Let's see. Asa, nice to see you out there. JLo, so funny, creative energy, and I'm here creating some templates for mathematics basics for my daughter's school. I made her the multiplication and just decided doing all and sending it to her principal. Ah, there's this creative spark that's going on, right? But you're also grounding it into something real and tangible that students can use going forward for learning. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go on to Easter Sunday. Sunday. So Sunday, April 20th is all about magnetism, truth, and tension. Got to have tension sometimes, right? So that day, the universe hands us a blend of sweetness, of revelation, and raw power. And it's a day to act from intuition, not impulse, and to make room for both the breakthroughs and for boundaries, right? So we get this idea like breakthrough energy makes us want to rush forward, but then there's also this need to form the boundary that takes, in and allows for growth to happen. And that's because we have three, big transits happening that day. The first two are, more easy, go with the flow. The last one is not so easy. This is where the tension comes from. So the magnetism, let's deal with that one first. That's Venus in Pisces in a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. So we have, a blending of energy of the creative, imaginative energies that meet up with the grounded in and break through energies that can surprise us. However, this is more of a softer side of Uranus, if you will. It's gently liberating energy, let's say, right? Venus, it gentles everything that she comes into contact with. She's in contact with Uranus, who can sometimes just, break through, surprise, unexpected shock, right? But she's gentling all of that. And Venus in Pisces is also dreamy and creative and compassionate. Uranus and Taurus brings surprise and innovation, perhaps in love, in our finances, and in beauty. So we can expect a couple of things along these lines. One, a sudden shift, perhaps, in how you express affection or how you receive pleasure, what makes you happy, how you want to, shine in your world. Perhaps a creative breakthrough, right? As an artist or as a writer, anytime we're in creative energy, sometimes we hit that wall, we hit that block. This might be the day that you bust through the block, right? Where things become clear. It might be a chance encounter with somebody, an unexpected heart opening moment. And love flows freely here when you're open to surprise. Really interesting. As you all know, I've had two sisters pass away in the last year. Last June, my oldest sister, Nadine, passed away. And this morning, just before I woke up, I dreamed of her, but it was so real. Like I was with her and I was holding her hand. She was lying down and she had her bright red hair. I mean, this was younger Nadine, and she had this bright red hair, her beautiful smile. She reached out and I took her hand and we just sat and chit chatted for a while. I don't even know really what we were talking about, but I know I opened with, um, what are you doing here? Like, I thought you crossed over. Why are you in my reality? Um, so it was a breakthrough moment in relationship for me because I wasn't there when she died, right? I hadn't gotten there in time. And there was some, feelings I had around that just got all settled with her bright smile and the thing that, even relationships on the other side we can work with, right? So it was pretty interesting with Venus getting ready to sextile Uranus, this breakthrough moment in your relationships, within your love and romance sector of your chart, maybe even in finances and in your creative energy. Go with the flow, go with that passion. Then we also have Mercury in Aries, sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So we know Pluto's the power, the transformation, the empowerment piece. Mercury is about communication, about taking bold action, saying what needs to be said. And that means words carry weight on Sunday. And this aspect can bring some piercing insights to us, some transformative confirmation or conversations. Maybe it was more Mercury in Aries, getting ready to sextile Pluto in Aquarius that drove that dream of my sister for me. And there's this powerful mental clarity that can come through a Mercury sextile Pluto. So we want to use this energy to speak our truth. Speak your truth with courage and with precision. Say what needs to be said. Make bold decisions and serve a long term purpose, right? So we've been holding back, I think, making decisions. The energies haven't really been conducive to being very direct in what it is that we want to do. But now we're cutting through that mental fog. We're maybe cutting through outdated thinking, and we're able to see the path before us and take the steps that we need to take. So, as far as this aspect is concerned, say what matters, hear what's underneath, right? See the love beneath. And then also the difficult now, the tension part of this. So we've had the magnetism, Venus sextile Uranus now, and then we had the truth, which is the Mercury sextile Pluto. Now we get to the tension, which is the Sun newly in Taurus, squaring Mars newly in Leo. So here's the kind of wild card of the day for Sunday. It's creative tension meeting stubborn willpower. And the square can bring friction around ego or direction or motivation. You may feel pulled between slowing down over here with the sun in Taurus and charging forward over here with Mars in Leo. So watch for power struggles on Sunday under the surface somewhere. Maybe even your impulsive reactions to something that someone says, or something that someone does, or something that you thought someone would do that they didn't do, right? Watch for that. Watch also for pushing too hard or digging in your, hooves out of pride. The urge to prove yourself is something you want to watch out for. You don't need to prove your worth. You're rooting into your worth and your truth, but you don't need to prove to anybody else that you're worthy, right? Or that you are someone to be respected. You don't have to prove that. Okay. So the vibe with this particular energy is about moving with purpose, not pressure. Make sure you're deliberate in the things that you want to say, that you're loving, as well. Watch for the tension. So Sunday is kind of a dance between harmony and heat. It is a day to let your words be true your heart be open, and your fire be grounded in love. Love energy. All right. So let's wrap up the show here as I want to do a couple of card readings. This weekend begins with Mars stepping boldly into Leo and reminding us that our actions must be heart led, not just from your head. They have to be from your heart. As the moon also, which I didn't tell you about. Oh my gosh, I've got to tell you about the moon today. So I noticed we haven't talked a lot about the moon lately because, well, I talked about her so much that I felt like I needed to stop talking about her. But now let's talk about the moon today because today she is in the sign of Sagittarius until 10:13 a.m. my time. So 1 p.m., 1:13 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast and all the times in between. And in her transits, she's very emotionally reactive a bit today, with a square to Venus already occurring, and then a square to Saturn occurring while she's in the sign of Sagittarius, smoothed a bit by a trine to the sun. And then she moves off into Capricorn, where again she takes up squares, but this time to Neptune and to Mercury. So today feels a little bit emotionally volatile, even though right now, sitting here, I'm feeling emotionally just fine, a little excited, maybe, and exuberant. I have a lot to do today. I have a lot of exciting things to tell people today. But is there emotional reactivity that goes along with that today with the moon? Between moving from Sagittarius, the freedom loving, happy go lucky adventurer, moving into the more stoic, steady, taciturn energies of Capricorn, or business orientated energy of Capricorn. So we shall see. So watch your emotional energy today. If it's wobbly, if it's going up and down, it's likely due to the squares between the moon and these other planets that can create a bit of an emotional, volatile moment. Could be a moment, it could be the rest of the day, but it doesn't have to be the rest of the day. And remember, it's always your choice to how to deal with the emotional energy. Your potential is to respond, which means that you take a breath and then you decide exactly how it is that you're going to respond to whatever the trigger was. On the other hand, you can be reactive, and Mars in Leo, fire, possibly we are going to be more reactive. But again, that would be a choice, and maybe not even a conscious choice if you don't take some time to realize what it is that you're doing, or how it is that you want to respond. So now, the other thing is Taurus season is beginning, and it's a perfect time for us to slow ourselves down, to be more deliberate, to reroute or rebuild the foundation, and to commit to what it is that you're building, especially in your creative life and in your relationships, and maybe even on your spiritual path forward from here. And remember, this is big energy this weekend, but it doesn't require big drama. It doesn't have to be all drama. It just requires aligned intention. How is it that I want to use this energy? All right. Yes, Christine, that was a visitation. As I was talking to my daughters, I said it was so real. Like I was holding her hand. I could feel her hand. I could feel the softness of her touch. I could see her fingernails. I mean, everything. It was so real. So I know, visitation. Um, Now, lastly, before I pull cards, I don't know if I have mentioned this to all of you, but I am resurrecting in time to Easter um, my membership. And, there's a lot of reasons behind my move to this. Mostly it's because I I want to be able to offer more and more, but I'm not very good at pricing stuff out or getting clear about what it is that people really want sometimes, right? So if you're someone out there who's craving a deeper, more consistent way to understand how these astrological gene keys, human design, galactic astrology, core wound work, soul work all works together, and shapes your personal journey, then I invite you to join me in the Living Astrology membership, which will be out on May 1st. And there's a whole list of things that I could talk about that are a part of that, including the weekly broadcasts that I do on Monday and Friday, still being free, right? Still being a part of what I give, but with a twist, right? At the end, the members get an opportunity to get free resource material. Maybe it's an extra video, maybe it's a worksheet, maybe it's a quick Q&A about the information that I shared during the day that can be translated into a personal discussion about your chart. Also, there are a lot of courses that I want to teach, and the biggest one coming up is about the move of Jupiter from Gemini into Cancer and the move of Uranus from Taurus into Gemini, and how that plays into the ideology of the world that we're living in. And what does that mean, right? How is the ideology being shaped by information, and what is truth and what is not? And then as well, a library of tools that you can all have access to, other courses, Q&As. There's a lot to go into that membership. So the doors are opening soon. And if you want to be on the list to receive the early access bonus, go to my website. Oh, hey, I forgot I can actually put this on a screen or just share it. Go to my website and check for the Living Astrology Academy tab at the top, and you'll see where you can Academy. Click on that tab and you'll be able to see where there's a link to get on the waiting list. All right, let's draw a couple of cards. I pulled 2 decks out this morning before we started. One is the Angel Guide deck by Kyle Gray. We haven't used this one in a while, nor have we used this one, the Star Codes Astro Oracle. And let's pull one from here first. This deck is from Heather Rowan Robbins, and it is called Star Codes Astro Oracle. And it's a beautiful deck. It's all about different astrology things. So what do I pull? Neptune. Of course, Neptune. And it says vision. It is card 26, which is an 8, which is about manifestation, which is about heart to heart connection. So let's see what Neptune, card 26, has to share with us. Okay. Wow, this is long. Settle in for a minute. Like a cool blue pearl floating in an inky sea, this planet symbolizes how we float in the ocean of the collective conscious. Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, takes about 165 years to tour the zodiac. On a practical level, it signals water, liquids, oils, and art supplies. On a challenging day, it shows us how we avoid gritty reality, whether we escape through our imagination, addictions, or martyrdom. On a lovely day, Neptune speaks spirituality, imagination, and psychic perception. Here's our action. Pray, meditate, intuit, use your divination, rest and dream. Activate the right side of your brain and step out of sequential logic into a sense of the infinite. Engage ceremony and ritual. Find a dream or vision and bring it back here to manifest. Because Neptune invokes both intuition and imagination, it can blur the boundaries between the two. It's all too easy to believe that what you want or what you are afraid of is in fact reality, which can make it easy for others to manipulate you by playing to your hopes and your fears. Take each step with care. Working with Neptune is like walking in the fog. You can see the present moment clearly. It's just the future and the past that get lost in the hopes and the fears. If the world feels too harsh, or if you're feeling easily overwhelmed, tend to your sensitive antenna. Pray rather than worry. Neptune speaks of our psychic permeability, encouraging us to soak up our surroundings. Use that to your advantage and choose your surroundings carefully. Meditate with a group. tune in to the trees, the earth beneath, the sky above, or sacred sites. Immerse yourself in whatever feeds you. Here's the challenge. Neptune overwhelm can turn acceptance into passivity, imagination into illusion, sensitivity and the hunger for spirit into addiction. Watch for water damage. The gift, allow yourself to float, to swim in that great ocean of the collective consciousness. Soak up the presence of divine soul. There is no separation between you and all the sentient beings, or between you and the realms of God and spirits. Pretty cool. Neptune. Neptune. All right. And let's pull an angel guide. Look at these cards. The backs of them are so beautiful. They're so fiery, right? Reminds me of Mars in Leo and the sun in Aries for the moment, at least for today. And we get strength and guidance. Strength and guidance. I think that's a good one for all of us too. All right, let's go. Here's the message. Don't underestimate the power of your soul. You are a strong and resilient soul with the capacity to rise above any challenge. Divine intervention is taking place at this time. Whatever is occurring in your life is providing a real learning curve for your soul. You are becoming more and more aware of what will lead you to fulfill your purpose and what will divert you from joy. Your angel guide is encouraging you to recognize that the feelings that are coming to you now are guidance that will help you understand the steps that you need to take and the moves that you need to make in order to be aligned with abundance and support. Here's your extended message. Angels are encouraging you to dig deep and hold your station. If you are wondering what the next step is, know that it will be revealed in due course. Don't change your plans or your vision or your goals for anyone. This is not a time to take drastic action, but to remain committed and strong. Keep up the good work. Angels are encouraging you to recognize the power of your prayers and intentions at this time. Recognize too that the angels are with you and willing to guide you on your journey. The universe itself is with you. If you trust in it, you will draw down the power of the cosmos, and the right steps will be revealed in a way that will be effortless for you to take them. Know that it's not your job or duty to know everything that's unfolding, just to take one step at a time until the solution and outcome are revealed. Have faith, positive things are happening. Here we go. Strength and guidance from angels. All right. Well, that is it for me today. It has been a pleasure to sit here and chat with you. I will be here again on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend and bye for now.